Now, a lot of people have been asking me about my thoughts on JT Barrett. A lot of people have been asking me, JT, do you think JT Barrett could potentially be the future franchise quarterback for the Steelers? Now, JT Barrett was brought in by the Pittsburgh Steelers late in December. He was brought in the week we were going to play the Baltimore Ravens, when the Baltimore Ravens rested most of their starters and RG3 was going to be the starting quarterback. Now, JT Barrett was brought in to be the scout team quarterback and give the Steelers basically a look. Basically, he was brought in to be RG3 basically. Now, the Steelers ended up giving him a futures contract. So we're going to be able to see what JT Barrett brings to the table this preseason or training camp. Now, JT Barrett was an undrafted free agent from the 2018 NFL Draft. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. Now, most notably, he's known for being one of the best quarterbacks in Ohio State history. He was 5th in Heisman voting back in 2014. He was a 3-time Big Ten quarterback of the year. And he also has 9,434 passing yards, 104 touchdowns to 30 interceptions, completed 63.5% of his passes during his time at Ohio State. Now, this guy has had stints with the New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, he was cut like nearly 30 times by the New Orleans Saints from 2018 to 2019. So, he was on the New Orleans Saints practice squad all 2018, right? They were cutting him, bringing him back, cutting him, bringing him back. That was basically the repeated cycle. Then they released him in 2019 early on. He gets picked up by Seattle. Then after Seattle released him, after the final cuts, he ended up getting picked up by the New Orleans Saints again. Then they waived him. Then Pittsburgh picked him up later on in December. Now, when I watched the game film of JT Barrett, and it isn't really a lot of game film, not because it wasn't hard for me to find the preseason games, but it's simply for the fact that JT Barrett was near last on the quarterback depth chart. So when JT Barrett got in, it was in the fourth quarter. It was basically like 5 or 2 minutes left, right? Now, the good thing is, despite not having a lot of time, we did get to see him throw a pretty reasonable amount of passes for me to get a good scouting report on him, right? So when I look at JT Barrett, this is a guy that was able to be a little bit creative in the pocket. He was able to get out the pocket, extend plays and things like that. So he has some good mobility outside the pocket. Now, when you go back and watch the Seattle Seahawks game, which I believe was week 2 of the preseason last year, I believe like they put him in. I believe Paxton Lynch left the game for injury, so he had to take over in the red zone, right? Now, I thought he did pretty good. Now, in the red zone, of course they didn't score, but I mean, he showed some flashes, right? But then he got the ball last drive and he threw an interception, right? Which basically I'm not going to fault him because basically it was the last play of the game and things like that, right? So he threw an interception. I'm not really going to fault him for that. Now, when you go back and watch what he did against the New Orleans Saints in 2018, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, right? So when the most film from JT Barrett playing in the NFL in the preseason was his tape 2018 when he was playing for the Saints, right? So when JT Barrett got in, this was a guy who was able to, he was basically a spark plug when it came to running the football. I mean, this guy was very elusive, made a lot of guys miss, was able to extend a little bit of plays, right? But one thing that I noticed when it came to his ability to pass the ball, it just really isn't there. Now, I know a lot of people criticize Duck Hodges and don't think Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph isn't all that great, but here's the thing, right? Duck Hodges was an undrafted rookie free agent last year, right? And he was able to come in and win 3 games, right? He went 3-3 as a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you got to compare Duck Hodges to what you expect out of an undrafted free agent, because not a lot of guys can come into the league undrafted and win games right away as an undrafted free agent. A lot of guys can't even come in the NFL as an undrafted free agent, not only make the depth chart and not even start a few games, but even have success as a starter. So, I mean, when you look at Devlin Duck Hodges, I mean, he had a really good season when it comes to what you typically expect out of an undrafted free agent at the quarterback position. So, I think JT Barrett is a lot worse than Devlin Duck Hodges. You know, so when you look at the game film, I mean, yeah, he had some nice plays and things like that, but he just doesn't have the anticipation that you need at the quarterback position to succeed at the NFL level. When he was throwing to wide receivers, he didn't really throw nobody open. Like, as a quarterback, you have to be able to throw guys open, like on the slant route, right? When the wide receiver is running that slant route, you as soon as the wide receiver gets ready to make his break, the ball has to be there. When the wide receiver is running like a curl flat, as soon as the wide receiver gets ready to break and come back to the ball has to be there. And I just really didn't see that out of JT Barrett when you go back and watch this tape. When you look back at the throws that he made that were completions, wide receivers were dead open. Like, it was one wide receiver that was running like an end route, right? He was running the end route. So he broke and he was coming all the way across the middle of the field, right? Now, when you're running that kind of route, the ball should already be there as soon as the quarterback gets ready to break, unless you know the defender's right there and you wait for the wide receiver to get a little bit more separation, then you throw the football. But I mean, when he was hitting guys and when guys were getting wide open, that's when JT Barrett was throwing the football. Like, guys were really wide open. When I mean wide open, guys, a lot of guys had like 5 yards of open field. Nobody was near them, right? But when you was asking JT Barrett to throw into tight windows and kind of try to throw guys open, it just wasn't there. So he doesn't really have the anticipation that you need to succeed at the NFL level. Now, a lot of people, I know a lot of people don't like Mason Rudolph and Devlin Duck Hodges, but like I said, you have to compare Devlin Hodges to a typical undrafted free agent, because a lot of undrafted free agents, not only do they not make the roster or not even make the practice squad, but you rarely see an undrafted free agent come in and have the success that Duck Hodges did. So JT Barrett isn't all that much of an upgrade from Devlin Duck Hodges as a lot of people may think. And you can go back and you can watch those preseason games if you don't agree with my analysis, but that's what I was able to take away from it. So he doesn't really have the anticipation and the timing isn't really there. I mean, guys have to be extremely wide open, and his accuracy wasn't all that great neither. But as a runner, yeah, he was really impressive. So going in, do I think he could be the potential franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, almost every quarterback has potential to be the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you bring a guy in, you're not bringing a guy in because, you know, you're just bringing him in just to bring him in. You're bringing a guy in because you think he has potential to have success or be a successful backup, right? But when it comes to JT Barrett being the potential successor to Big Ben, I don't really see that happening. Now, I like JT Barrett a lot. He was one of my favorite players during college football when he's playing for the University of Ohio State. But in terms of him being the future of the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm not really buying that. I don't really see it. I don't think he's an upgrade from Devlin Duck Hodges, who, remind you, came in and won 3 games, right? He went 3-3 as a starter. He's not better than Mason Rudolph, right? So, at best, maybe him and Duck Hodges have a position battle for that last third string quarterback position on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster. But in terms of him being the potential future of the Steelers quarterback position, I don't really see it. Because like I said, the timing isn't there and the accuracy isn't there either. Duck Hodges, despite what you want to say about Duck Hodges was more accurate than Mason Rudolph. He just didn't have the arm strength that Mason Rudolph possessed, but he was more accurate than Mason Rudolph. JT Barrett is a way slight downgrade from Devlin Duck Hodges. Now, like I said, JT Barrett, the pros that he does have on Devlin Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph is his ability to make plays and make things happen outside of the pocket. You know, he has some good mobility as well. He can extend plays in the pocket as well. But the thing with JT Barrett is that he just doesn't have all that great of the accuracy and the timing needed to be a starting caliber NFL quarterback or even a backup quarterback at that. So my thoughts on JT Barrett is, I mean, he probably will compete for the third string quarterback spot with Devlin Duck Hodges, but I really doubt that he makes the roster. Now, I know a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans are like, oh, JT, he can't do no worse than Devlin Hodges, but you got to compare to what Devlin Hodges did as an undrafted free agent coming in compared to what most typical undrafted free agents do. Most undrafted free agents as rookies don't even make the roster, don't even make the practice squad, and if they do get opportunity to play in a real NFL game, in a regular season game, they're not good at all. Look at Luke Falk. Look what Luke Falk did with the New York Jets. Luke Falk was like the third string quarterback for the New York Jets, and he was absolutely terrible. The New York Jets couldn't even move the football at all. So, I mean, the fact that Devlin Duck Hodges was able to somewhat move the ball, compared to what Luke Falk did, was a really big upgrade. So like I said, I'm rooting for JT Barrett to prove me wrong and make the roster. But in terms of what I saw on film, I don't really think he's all that better than Devlin Hodges, and he's not even close to being as good as what Mason Rudolph is. And Mason Rudolph isn't all that great at all. So I'm interested to see what he does in the preseason. He'll probably will compete for that third quarterback spot with Devlin Hodges, but I doubt he really beats him up. He really beats him out for that spot. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.